Hi, Sudis. How are you doing? Welcome to Nayasim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I came across a video where this white man was asking, why is it that black people saw everything going on and black people warned everybody and all that? And firstly, he was asking, why aren't black Christians being deceived by Trump? The truth is that black people already have masterminded everything going on, especially when it comes to Christianity. It's not like they do not believe in God or something, but Christianity is like our church is not something that they do. So they know who is who. So he talked about how black people finally people are seeing what black people have been telling them. Black people have been screaming everything going on in United States for how many years? But it is you people that chose not to listen and not to see. So the majority of you are still blind. So I am going to say this. Black people want everybody. It's not like it's something new. They told you all ahead of time. So he talked about police brutality and all that. And I saw a video of a man who said, why are black people not always complying? Why are they always proud when the cops stop them to speak to them and they are always rude? So he is telling them to stop being proud, that they are not the only people in United States. And then he came back again to say that he is sorry, that he didn't mean it that way. You already be joking too much. And the fact that I can see American flag behind him, it tells a lot. But you know what? Let's get into this video.
All right, there's been this question that's been brewing in the back of my mind for really years now, as we've seen so many white Christians fall under the deception of Trump. My question is, why don't black Christians fall under this deception? You know, I've been visiting black churches lately. I have yet to find a single black person who is even remotely sort of attracted to Trump or deceived by Trump. They see right through it. And I've had the best conversations with my black Christian friends and black Christians in the churches I've visited about Trump, and they are eyes wide open. What is it that allows them to see that is preventing so much of the white community for seeing Trump for who he is? All right, there's been this question that's been brewing in the back of my mind for really years now, as we've seen so many white Christians fall under the deception of Trump. My question is, why don't black Christians fall under this deception?
That is such a good question, and I took some time today to think about it. And kind of here's my thoughts. Black folks have been dealing with systems built to shut them out and keep them down for generations, from slavery and segregation to mass incarceration and voter suppression. They've learned how to spot a fake. They've seen people in power say one thing and then turn around and do the complete opposite. So they're not easily fooled by flashy speeches or a Bible in someone's hand. And let's talk about the black church. The black church has never been just about Sunday service. It's been a safe space, a place to organize, to fight for civil rights, to support each other when the world was hostile. And that kind of faith, it's deep. It's about action, not words. So when Trump shows up pretending to be religious while pushing policies that divide people and hurt communities, black Christians see right through that. One of the biggest reasons they're not buying what he's selling, I believe, is because he never tried to include them. From the very beginning, his message and his tone, his whole vibe, it wasn't for them. Even if someone agrees with a couple of his policies, it doesn't erase the fact that he's been disrespectful and dismissive. And in the black community, respect matters. Now, on the flip side, a lot of white Christians, especially in the evangelical crowd, have backed Trump. I'll tell you why, though. It's not because he lives by Christian values, but it's because he protects their power. Trump makes them feel like they are the ones under attack, like they are losing their country. And he tells them that he is the one who will keep them on top. That's not about faith. That's about fear and control. See, Trump uses religion like a costume. He waves a Bible for a photo op, but never follows what's in it. He says God to score points, not to serve people. That version of faith, isn't about love or justice. It's simply about power. But black Christians, they know the difference. They've seen faith used to excuse slavery and segregation. They've seen scripture twisted to back up hate. So when Trump comes around acting like he's God's chosen one, they don't just question it, they shut it down. Because real faith is about love, about lifting up the oppressed, about walking in truth, not greed, ego, or division. So kind of to wrap this up, my thoughts into one package. Black Christians don't fall in line behind Trump because history taught them to see through the lies. Their faith taught them to stand for what's right. And they're not about to follow a man who wraps himself in a flag, waves an upside down Bible while doing the exact opposite of what Jesus taught. Hope that helps.
So I never thought I would say this, but we are beginning to see some good come out of the Trump presidency. And what's happening is people are waking up to the understanding of the American empire. Now, the black community has known this for centuries, and in most recent history, the war on drugs. Look at how similar the ICE raids are to the war on drugs in the 80s and the 90s, the SWAT teams and the raids and all this stuff. It's the same tactic because it's the same empire. And what Trump has done is he's just shifted the target from the black community to the Hispanic community because we needed a new enemy. We couldn't vilify the black community anymore after the civil rights era, and particularly after George Floyd. So what? Go after the immigrants, them, bad people. And it's what we've been doing for centuries. But I think people are waking up to see the underbelly of the American empire, what the black community has seen for so long. It's just the true nature of this nation shining through, and a call for all of us to check our hearts to make sure that we are treating all people the same, no matter what they look like on the outside. You know, I'm really thankful that people are up in arms about these horrible ICE raids and the police brutality. But I just want to remind us that 5 years ago, we had every opportunity as a nation to rein in police brutality, to actually legislate some boundaries for our policing after the death of George Floyd, and we didn't do it. The black community rose up. The world rose up against the horrible brutality that we have used, that our police has used against the black community for centuries in this country, but we did not listen. And now we are paying the price, and we're seeing it right in front of our eyes, and it's only going to get worse. When are we going to learn from the centuries of institutional knowledge that the black community carries?
In America, it's common that when a police officer pulls over a black driver, African American, not all, but many of them, they refuse to comply. And they start verbally abusing police officers, and they start insulting police officers. And then they complain about police abuse, police brutality. But Indian men, Pakistani men, Muslim men, and all others, they always comply. Whenever a police officer asks them to get out of the car. So why is that? Why some of my African American friends, they think they should be treated like royalty, a special treatment. They are not above the law. Don't you think? They also had to follow the rules. Thank you. God bless America. I like to offer my apology to black people. I didn't mean to insult black people. In my last video, under the title of American police and American blacks and police brutality, I use the word black just to refer them to some black people, not all. I apologize if someone feels insulted. Please accept my sincere apology. I was stopped by a state police many years ago. He issued me a citation for speeding. I was angry. I was mad. I didn't mean to be argumentative, but I asked him, "Why did you give me ticket, this and that? I wasn't speeding." He said that you were speeding, otherwise I wouldn't have given you a ticket. But I kept arguing. And he said, "If you say one more word, I'm going to arrest you because you are trying to make me feel guilty and you are trying to stop me from doing my job and you are harassing me." Since then, I have been stopped many times by a police officer for traffic violation. But every time a police officer approached me, that officer, I had everything ready for him to present my driver license, registration, insurance card, whatever. And I always treated him with respect. If I was driving fast, I offer my apology. I say, "I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was going that fast. If you please give me a chance, let me go, or just give me a warning ticket or something. I have a good driving record. I don't want to mess up my record, please." Believe me, in last maybe 10, 15 years, I was giving only one citation. And that also was dismissed in court. Police give me a chance each and every time because I was being very polite and respectful. So please learn lesson from my mistakes. It doesn't matter you're black, white, Latino, Indian, Pakistani, whoever. Respect a police officer. And you know that they don't stop you. They don't look for black people to give you a problem. They don't know who's driving. Is a white or black or Latino. Most of 99% of the time, they stop you for a reason. And 99% of the time, the cops are always right. So if you ever get stopped, if you get pulled over by a police officer, don't try to argue with him. Do not show him disrespect, him or her, and you'll be fine. Even he give you a ticket, so what? It won't be the end of the world. These police officers, most of them, they risk their lives to save us. So any police officer stops you, try to be respectful to him, and you won't get in trouble. I promise you. Thank you. God bless America.
Where are all the good police officers? You see these right-wing commentators on this app and many other apps talking about police brutality, and if people just complied, bad things wouldn't happen to them. Well, that's bullshit. I know it, you know it, and the majority of people out there know it's BS. When I was a young teenager, I experienced plenty of police brutality, especially back in those days. We didn't have cell phones and there wasn't cameras on every street corner. and they weren't being recorded. And it doesn't even matter if you're recording these people, because they still go right ahead with their police brutality, because they think that because they have a badge, they are above the law. And somehow, for the most of it, they are. They get away with nonstop violence against citizens of this country with no repercussions. Very rarely are there repercussions for these police officers who don't deserve a badge, who don't deserve any accolades whatsoever, because they are abusers. But the idea that if you just comply, you just do what you're told and you're going to be safe is nonsense. We have seen it too many times to where people who have complied with everything they're being told and they still get abused. They will use violence to get you in handcuffs, and then they will continue to use violence once you are in handcuffs. We have all seen the videos of police officers abusing people in police stations while they're shackled, while they're handcuffed, while they're strapped to a chair, and they still abuse them. Police officers should not have qualified immunity. In order to make real change in this country with police violence and police brutality, we need to get rid of qualified immunity. These people have to know that there are consequences, whether criminal or civil, if they start abusing the people that live in their communities. This is Grim with Get the Rant, and I'll see you all in the next video.
I just finished watching the video of the North Charleston Police Department brutalize a minor, and I am so sick of hearing you people say they just need to comply. It's not the case for everyone, because this boy, this minor, was selling roses outside the Circle K. They threw him down after the manager called. This woman called. Apparently, she was not happy about what he was doing. They threw him down on the floor in the chip aisle. This is a minor. They held him down as he's screaming, "Help me, get off of me. I didn't do anything wrong." As he's screaming over and over. They know they're being filmed. They don't even care. Next thing you know, he says, "I'm afraid for my life," and more cops rush in with a dog. Like, they had him held down. They didn't need to do anything else. But then they picked him up, dragged him out of the Circle K, and walked him all the way to their police car. He's a minor, and he was doing nothing. The people that were filming said none of what the officers were implying was happening, that apparently if they didn't sell a rose, he got verbally aggressive. The people inside the store said that didn't happen. You cannot just comply with that. He stood there in that police car screaming, "Help me," as people, all they could do was film. This was like 2 weeks ago in North Charleston, and I don't want to ever hear someone say you should just comply. That boy did nothing wrong. What they did to him was awful.
So I just saw a video of a man named William McNeil Jr. in Florida that literally got punched in the fucking face while he's sitting in his own vehicle by a police officer. And the comments are full of white people saying, if you would have just complied, this would have never happened. Should have just complied. Should have just complied. Complied with what? Getting pulled over for driving while black? So this man was pulled over for having his headlights off. It was broad fucking daylight. And the cop was like, oh, it's inclement weather. It was not raining. Nobody had their wipers on. And his car got surrounded by police officers. Not one of them had their headlights on. Not one. The visibility was not being affected by anything. They also said he didn't have his seatbelt on. But in the video that he took of himself in his car like this, you can clearly see it. And then when the cop breaks his window, punches him in the face, and gets him out of the car, he has to unbuckle the man to get him out. So it's very clear that this man wasn't pulled over for any legitimate reason, right? I want you to imagine that you're a black man, and you know the history of police and racism and George Floyd and Freddie Gray and Breonna Taylor, and you're getting pulled over, and you say, hey, why am I getting pulled over? And they give you some bullshit reason, like you don't have your seatbelt on when you clearly do, and you don't have your headlights on in the middle of the day when it's not raining. Are you going to think, oh, let me just comply and get out of the car? Or are you going to say, something's fishy here. Like, they're pulling me over for nothing. Like, literally, I'm not breaking any laws. It's not about like, I'm right and they're wrong, so I'm not getting out. It's about, I don't feel safe. They're plotting against me to do something to me, because why are they pulling me over when I'm not doing anything wrong other than driving while black? I know y'all, you white people, if you were pulled over and they were like, you don't have your seatbelt on, and you clearly did, and they were like, get out of the fucking car, you don't have your seatbelt on, get out of the fucking car. Y'all are so fucking entitled. You would never say, I'm just gonna comply, I'm gonna get out of the car. You would be like, no, I have my seatbelt on, you fucking maniac. Like, you would not just say, oh, I'm gonna get out. Like, sure. Secondly, I've never been asked to exit the vehicle at a traffic stop, ever once. Have you? Really think about that. I've been pulled over for using my phone while driving, running a red light, my tail lights being out. I've never once been asked to get out of my car. And it seems like every video like this, the black man is always asked to get out of his fucking car. Why is that? Like, y'all would not just comply and fight it in court. You would be like, no, dude, I'm not getting out of the car for this. Like, it's a traffic stop. I know y'all are fucking Karens. Like, you literally would not get out. So to just say, why didn't you just comply? Then none of this would have happened. Would you comply if somebody was lying? Somebody was making shit up for why they pulled you over. Somebody was very clearly full of hatred for you, even though they don't even know you. You can just see the look in the officer's eyes that he can't wait to punch this man. Even in the body cam footage, he's like looking at his knuckles and showing them off to his buddies. Like, he's proud. You know what I mean? So I really want y'all to sit and think about that. And do not comment on videos saying shit like that. It's fucking ridiculous. Just comply. No, they shouldn't comply and get out of the vehicle and risk their fucking lives to appease an officer that's lying and gaslighting them right there for what? Like, you can barely clearly see that this man got pulled over for driving while black, and I wouldn't feel safe to get out of the car if I was a black man and they were pulling me over for a bogus reason that didn't exist. You're going to think, oh, they're trying to plot and set me up and do something to me, and I am not safe, so I'm going to lock myself in my car. I'm going to ask for a supervisor, which she had every right to do, and then when the supervisor gets here, I'm going to figure out what's going on. Like, that is a very acceptable thing to do when you're pulled over. So I just can't believe, just comply. You guys would not fucking comply, and you just don't understand that complying could mean losing your life. They were going to beat his ass regardless if he complied or not. That's just who they are. They're racist fucking cops.
This is the biggest lie you cop apologists have sold to everybody. No, they're all the fucking same. Do you know why? Because every time there's some shit going down, it always ends the same. One cop who's an asshole manages to punch somebody or kick someone or, God forbid, choke somebody to death or shoot them with their firearm. And do you know what all the other fucking 20 cop assholes are doing while this is happening? They are staring at it and doing absolutely fucking nothing about it. And the numbers are staggering. It's not like it's one or two watching. It's the entire fucking police force of every department known to mankind. That is why I always call them gang members, because that's what they are. They act like such. They're fucking like incredibly negligent with shit like this. And that is why Alexander Lane, Thomas Kuhn, and To Tao are all sitting in a goddamn prison cell with Derek Chauvin. But everybody remembers Derek Chauvin killing George Floyd because he was the one putting the goddamn knee in his neck in the sidewalk. No one forgets him, but everyone forgets accessories to murder, which are people who are doing the same fucking thing by being bystanders. They even fucking name a term after it, the bystander effect. We either held all of them accountable or nothing changes. Que tengan buen día.
I'm driving on a suspended license because it's either too expensive for me to afford or I just can't get my license back right now, but I still need to make money so that I can pay off whatever I need to get my license back and take care of myself, but I can't get my license back. And then I get pulled over for my headlights being off and I'm just frustrated and I don't comply, which I know is breaking the law also, but you get to punch me for it, bro? I'm driving on a suspended license and I did not comply. I broke the law, but aren't I innocent until proven guilty? Why are you punching me, bro? I didn't punch you, man. Okay, you got me out of the car. Why are you punching me again, bro? They're just allowed to punch us like that now? Even if I'm just sitting there, bro. To the black men in America, I am so sorry. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to do. You would think catching this stuff on camera would be changing things, but even that's not changing nothing, bro. People aren't even getting charged. I need
This
to be safe.
video, sometimes some people are very ignorant. The truth is that it is happening straight up in you people's eyes. Some people are still not able to identify what is going on. Even when you open a book and put it inside some people's skull, they will still not know it. They will still not understand. Why is this one saying that black people need to be treated like they act like they need to be treated like royalty or something? That there are other people, Muslim, Pakistani, and all that. They don't. Can you people just stop? Can you people just stop, for crying out loud? The truth is that some of them are beginning to understand that what black people have been screaming all these years, that they are seeing it straight up right in their faces. Before, probably they did not believe, or they just believe, but they just have been ignoring it. Because, everything going on now, everything happening is something black people have been screaming. There is nothing new, actually. Just that you all refuse to read and learn about what is going on with black people, or understand what is happening to black people, or also understand your history. Because all these things happening, if you understand your history, you will be able to stitch them together. But some people are that ignorant. Black people have decided that they will not be deceived, whether if it is Christianity or anything or anywhere and all that. I love them because they are woke. They are too woke. Black people can never keep quiet when something is going on in their community. They understand that there some certain things happening. I don't know how they do it, but I don't know. They are too. Their foresight is so much that they even say before it start happening. They know. When we talk about how CIA got into black community, how did they get into black community? Because tell me how a community that is flourishing and all that, and all of a sudden, you don't want them to flourish, or you feel threatened, because sometimes they are threatened that these people might pick up and take over. Man, you all are how many years ahead? So how are they? See, for those that do not understand how CIA got into black community, it was them that also planted what they were looking for. That's why they were also able to find them, because black community were not doing anything that got to do with drugs. They were just living their life. And they decided it is time to sow a seed of discord. And that seed started growing. And the same people that sowed the seed went to media to tell media that my own people are doing so many substance and all that. It spread like wildfire. But in reality, they were the ones that planted those things. There are some people you will live with. The best that will happen to you is to really be very careful, because if you are not careful, no matter how you think you know them, they can come at any time and perform what they know how to do best. It's unfortunate. Now, some people are seeing what black people have been saying all these years. It is not like glaring straight up in their eyes. They cannot deny the fact that black people have been saying it. The only thing is that they have refused to listen, because some people have refused to listen. And when you refuse to listen, you continue to make the same mistake over and over, not until it costs you something that you may not be able to replace in your life again. Some people are so ignorant like that. Black people cannot be deceived anymore with Christianity, except the ones that do not understand themselves. No. Some of them do not go to church anymore, but they still believe in God, that there is higher power, right? But for somebody to deceive me, just like this man is doing, he's a Christian, but he cannot account anything about his Christian life or Christianity. Is that one a Christian? Of course, you know that one is not a Christian. Black people have been warned, everybody. They warned everybody because they saw it coming. And straight up, it is happening. In other words, if you do not understand what Black community is going through, you can shut up. There is nobody will fine you for shutting up. But do not come and say nonsense and come back again with that US flag or straight up at your back. Patriots, we see you. Bye for now.